Hi guys, welcome back to Power Tongue. In this video, I don't really know where I want to go with this or what exactly the reason I'm sharing this is, but I think that somebody needs to hear this. And so I'm just going to follow the intuition of that and just say it. I spoke myself into a heart attack at age 21, and just a little bit of clarification, wasn't a massive heart attack, wasn't anything too serious. It was a bout of paramyocarditis, which is the inflammation of the pericardium, which is a portion of your heart. It becomes inflamed, and that, of course, inhibits blood flow into your heart, which you need to live. Now, I was a perfectly healthy individual physically at the time, but my mind was in a very negative state. My mind was in such a negative state that it's like this. Your mind affects your body in ways that are so much more powerful than you think. This is how healing happens. Like, I've almost died 3 times. When I was like 13 or 14, my kidneys shut down. They told my mother that I wouldn't survive the night. I was having blood transfusions, and it was a very serious situation, and the result of that, according to the doctors, is that I was going to die. There's no coming back from this. Surround myself with positive entities, lovingness for others, people that were sending me their positive energy, that were praying for me, that were spending time with me. Well, my vibration tuned in with theirs, and what happened was a medical mystery. The doctors couldn't explain it. My kidneys completely reversed it a 180 and went back to a perfectly healthy state after that. So what happened? Well, we spoke healing into reality. God, or the universe, or the infinite creator, or whoever you ascribe all this to, all these stories are telling the same thing. That's a hurdle you have to get over if you grew up in any of these religious systems. I did. I grew up in a very Pentecostal-based Christian religion, which is very, very rigid in its structures of what you can and can't believe. But once I started studying other texts, other worldviews, I realized all of this is the same story. It's all about loving others and moving away from the selfish service to self mentality, moving away from this ego that wants to serve who you are. In doing so, you receive this great power of God. You become this Christ consciousness individual. You become this perfect spirit man, this new man, like the Christian Bible says. And so what you have to do in order to ascend from this kind of very toxic worldview that Christianity is living in nowadays in most of the contemporary Christian church. It's very judgmental. It's very like, we decide who's worthy of love. We are the only ones that have the right answers. Once you move away from that, you unlock amazing spirit powers of the universe. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I spoke paramyocarditis, I can't speak very well, into being. I made myself sick. Why? Because I was on a very negative path. What was that path? I was full of jealousy. I was full of rage. I was newly married, and I was going through a lot of issues stepping into that identity of a husband because I had a lot of trauma from my past. I'd been cheated on, I'd been abused, I'd been hurt, I'd been in so many difficult situations, I'd been on drugs, I'd been heavily drinking, I'd been living a lifestyle that was very unhealthy. I was a professional line cook. I was working in restaurants, which was a constant party 24/7. All of that to say that I was on a very self-serving negative path, living in the pleasure of the moment and forgetting about the eternal consequences of my actions. And I actually spoke this sickness into reality. There's life and death in the power of the tongue. So this happens all the time. Like, you deal with these people that are very negative, like assholes that are out to hurt people, that are cheating on, abusing, manipulating, very toxic individuals. What happens to them? Almost every time, what happens to them? They get sick. Their loved ones get sick. They fall into financial turmoil. They lose somebody close to them. They lose their job. They live in this existential crisis, like believing in this worldview that all of this is for nothing. There's no point to any of it. So who cares? Who cares what happens? I'm just going to be negative and hurt others along the way. And it always leads to negative results. Similarly, these positive people, positive individuals that are always trying to bless others, that are giving their money away. You work hard for your money. It's hard to give it away. But when you give it away, what happens? It returns to you pressed together and spilling over the edges. It is an incredible exponential increase. That is the secret of giving. Its returns to you increased. Not just money, compliments. Like, are you somebody that's always going out of your way to try to compliment somebody, to try to make them feel better, to try to increase their self-esteem, things like that? What happens when you're like that? Well, the compliments start turning back towards you. There's life and death in the power of the tongue. What you choose to speak will linger. What you choose to speak will be returned to you in full force of this amazing, amazing creation. So be careful with what you say, because it has power. There was times in my life where I was going through severe depression, suicidal ideation, wishing I was dead. And what happened every time? I got sick. Every time something bad has happened to me like that. Like, me and my wife were in a car accident. What was happening before that? Well, we were probably fighting. We were probably hurting each other. Negativity responds to negativity. We are magnets. We attract what we put out. What you put out into the universe returns to you overflowing. So be careful. Complain about your job too much, you'll find yourself out of a job. Complain about your wife too much, you'll find yourself divorced and alone. Complain about money, you'll find yourself in even more financial hardship. This is the world we're in. So speak positive affirmations. All the money I need comes to me. Wait, no, it doesn't come to me. All the money I need, I already have. I have everything I need, and so do you. When you stepped into this reality, you stepped into this form that you're currently in, you have a destiny and a purpose. You have a reason for being here, and everything you need to achieve the mission of this consciousness is within you. You need money? You either have it in your bank account or you have the means to get it. That's the truth. You need time? It's there, or you know how to get it and you're just not doing it. Do what needs to be done to get the results you want. Put it out into the universe. Detach from it. Don't obsess over it. Don't sit there and be like, I want her to like me back. I want her to like me back. I just want her to care about me the way I care for her, because you're attaching to that ideation. You're not living in the end believing that you already have it. You're begging for it. What are you begging for something you already have for? You already have what you say. Detach from it, because when you're attached, you create resistance between you and that outcome. You obsess, like, I love her so much. She doesn't care about me. I want her to love me back. Please love me back. You're creating resistance. You're pushing her further away. Now, if you say, I care about her deeply, I hope she cares about me too, then detach yourself from that. Live in the now, love your current, love your mission, love your destiny, and live in the current, and you will find her feelings for you develop in the way that you are hoping for. Because the reality is, she's probably hoping the same thing. Until that resistance forms, it was all coming to you in the beginning. And the same way this works positively, it works negatively. It's like when you're going through depression and suicidal ideation like I was. You're constantly like, I wish I was dead. I want to die. I hate being alive. I hate my life. What happens? The feeling doesn't go away. Now, yes, hear me out. I'm not discrediting the medical credibility of these diseases. There is a physical reality to the imbalance in your brain when you're going through this sickness. I'm just telling you a way to deal with it. I'm just telling you that if you keep saying that, it's not going to go away because it's returning to you tenfold. It's returning to you 100-fold. You have the power to speak things into existence. So the next time you're going through sadness, you're going through a terrible depression, you're hurt, you've been cheated on, manipulated, going through the worst pains that this life can bring you. Say to yourself, like, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. I am happy. I am important. I am special. I am here for a purpose. I have a purpose and I need to achieve it. And then detach from that. Detach from the outcome and live in the outcome that you already have achieved. Live in the end. This is a Neville Goddard concept that's so powerful. What you want for your end result, live in the end. And this is why when we're teenagers, everything is the end of the world. Every little thing that happens, like you get broken up with by your high school sweetheart, all of a sudden you're in the end. It's the end of the world. It's the end of the world and your life is over. What happens when you do that? Your life is over. You're never getting back together because you've already accepted the outcome. You're in the end. So if you could have that same discipline that you have when the negative things come along in life, if you could have that same mindset towards the positive, your life would change in such miraculous ways. Like there's so many times in my life, it's like I've had no money and I've needed money desperately for whatever, bills or, home repairs or whatever comes along. I haven't had a cent. I've been in troubling times. But I didn't live saying I don't have enough money, I can't get through this. And yes, I have sometimes, but I'm talking about now. Saying like, it'll work out. It'll all work out. It's all worked out. What happens? Somebody calls you up, I just wanted to send you some money, some more work for ability for overtime or something comes up and you take it. And all of a sudden your needs are met. All of a sudden things are possible that you never thought possible. So I thought I was going to die 3 times in my life. Car accident, paramyocarditis, when my kidneys shut down. This is 3 times in my life. I was a dead man. But thank God, I didn't live in that reality accepting my death. And first of all, the first time when I was a young child, like 12 or 13, I never even knew at the time that this was what the doctors were saying to my mother. I found this out after the fact. And I'm actually really grateful for that, because if they had told me, maybe I would have accepted that fate and done that. And maybe I would have never achieved my life's purpose or my destiny. But the rest of the times, I knew the outcome was that I was going to survive this. And what happened? I survived it. There's so many miraculous stories of this online. Look it up, these miraculous healings and just miraculous aversion to outcomes that should have happened. Like, in a physical, logical world that people want to believe in, with this worldview, like everything is ones and zeros and there's nothing beyond this. Then explain these logical fallacies where people survive these heinous cards they're dealt by reality. We ascend towards our higher selves and we heal our bodies, we heal our minds, we heal our spirits. And I've got a video coming out soon about how to actually focus on our bodies and spirits by stilling and subverting our mind's influence over them. Because the reality is, we can't heal what's within when our mind is constantly guarding against these spiritual forces. And that's what we have to do. In Western thought, we're taught so much logical, critical thinking, like this can't be possible. And the outcome is it hinders our bodies and spirits from what they're actually meant to be doing. So we're going to talk about that more on this channel. And I want to say, I'm not a teacher. I'm not some sort of spiritual guru. I'm just like you. I'm a student, like taking in this information. I'm studying the law of one. I'm studying Hermeticism. I come from a deep Christian background and even a Christian university education. And here I am, right back at square one, realizing I was wrong. I was wrong to box myself in with this small worldview. There is so much more than meets the eye, and it's an incredible journey to step into, to project out into this source consciousness that we are a part of. It will blow your mind. So don't take what I say like I'm some sort of expert. I don't know even what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about these insights that I've learned through my own connection with this creator consciousness that is within me. And I hope you do the same. Just enjoy life. Be happy. Good things happen and bad things happen. But in the end, what's meant to be is meant to be. We can affect that outcome. We can speed that up through law of attraction and law of correspondence and magnetism and all these spiritual practices that speed up the process. Or you can sit back and love others, be a positive influence on the world, and what you deserve will come to you. That is for certain. Thank you so much. This is Power Tongue. I hope you got something out of this. Sorry for mind dumping on you some random thoughts I was having about my childhood. I don't know. I love you. Goodbye.